Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to a new episode of the Late Night Lake Show podcast powered by 19 Media Group. It is your host, Ricky, Jody, and Kwame. And we got Brendan in the back, as always. We got another packed show for y'all. We haven't rocked with y'all for a couple of weeks, so we got to play a little catch-up. Obviously, there was a firing that went down, a couple of them. We'll get into the aftershock of what is now an official new era in Lakerland. We'll get into that. We'll get into the king. LeBron James is back in the building, played his second game, both against Utah, is working his way back into game shape. As he said, he's using this last week or so as his training camp. We'll take a look at how the King is doing in his record-setting 23rd season. And then, as always, we will take a look around the league, see who's up, see who's down, see if anyone's going to catch the damn Oklahoma City Thunder. But as always, make sure you are subscribed to Late Night Lake Show wherever you get your hashtag good content. Before we get into all that, though, and before I even ask Kwame how you doing, I do have to check in with my brother Jody. Jody Joe, first of all, welcome. It's good to chop it up with you. How you doing, man?
What's up, man? You know, live and maintain. We trying to make it happen one way or another.
I love it. The other is kind of your story for Monday morning. Sunday, Jody and I's favorite football teams clashed. The Chicago Bears played the Pittsburgh Steelers. I did not know, Jody, that the Steelers had only won once in the existence of Soldier Field, and who's to break tradition, right? The Chicago Bears came out on top, and another just who wants to lose this game, less competition. But Jody, I guess I just checking in on the steel curtain, wanted to kind of get your sense, your pulse. How we feeling after the game and losing to the Bears?
I mean, I was really shocked Aaron didn't play because I figured he definitely, I know he wanted to play that game. But, man, that's why when you asked me earlier if I wanted to bet, I was like, nah, I don't know about that because this Steelers team is just, it's not it. I'm gonna tell you what really sucks for you. This loss don't even hurt that much because I seen it coming. So, like, you can gloat with and you know, God bless. But honestly, I am so happy that this movie is almost over. I'm actually upset that the draft is in Pittsburgh this year because that means it's gonna be even more annoying to hear the media talk about my team. So, but good shit though. It looks like Caleb Williams is starting to turn the tide. They was on the TV talking about, yeah, we call him Iceman. Everybody call him Iceman. I'm like, this nigga got a nickname?
You got a nickname.
I'm like, all right, well, hey, you know, that was a winnable game though. We could have won the game, but the problem is when you don't have any receivers, can't throw the ball. You know, we ran the ball reasonably well, but when Mason Rudolph is your quarterback and he doesn't have anybody to throw to, what exactly are you going to do? How are you going to make plays when you need to make plays? When you got idiots doing stupid shit, having to blow timeouts at the end of the game, you know what I'm saying, because we get them off the field, but I think you were trying to throw the ball and it was an incomplete pass, and then our guy got a fake an injury and we got to fucking blow a timeout because he's doing some stupid shit. So it's just...
Man said he's faking the injury. He was pulling at the hamstring, the patented I need to go down.
Yeah, man. It's just Steelers are just a bad built team, bad coach team. Congratulations for beating, you know, a bad team.
That's okay. That's okay.
But you don't have to be bad as well.
The same. That is true.
I will ask you a question though.
Please.
How many times in your life have you seen your Bears be 8-2? I need a number.
Maybe twice. Maybe.
Brother, you deserve this.
Yeah, I do. What did I say? I deserve it all.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah. Lakers 12-3.
Yeah.
Bears pick up their 8th win of the season. Life's good. I got nothing to complain about. So I appreciate that, Jody. You know, obviously Jody, my guy, and I just love giving him shit. I'm actually most upset that the Steelers weren't in a better position, so I could have potentially picked up a couple $, but Jody ain't no dummy. He wasn't gonna put no shekels on his boys.
And I didn't bet niggas for my team on the timeline. It ain't no nigga out there that can say I ain't paid up on no bet. There is niggas out there that I can say have not paid up on bets though.
Let's get into it, fellas. So the Lakers last night picked up a 108-106 ugly win against the Utah Jazz. LeBron James has made his return. But the Lakers definitely look like they were pretty rusty, right? 10 for 38 from three. They did have that 13-0 fourth quarter run. To kind of keep that distance, obviously, Lauri Markkanen saw his childhood hero guarding him for a game-winning shot that he took with 8 seconds left. But hey, all good. I don't blame him. If I had that opportunity to hit a game winner against the King, I'm taking that shot, especially if my team's as bad as the Utah Jazz. Kwame, I'll kick it off with you, man. 108-106 win. The Lakers are riding high, but the shooting concerns, are they real concerns or just working through the early season struggles?
I'm just going to say it's working through the early season struggles. Again, you incorporate a piece as big as LeBron James. It's going to take a few guys out of rhythm, get used to just playing that new style. I don't think it's anything to, ring the alarms for, but I think it was just, again, people just getting used to it, learning their spots a little differently. Again, they've had several different starting groups since the season has begun, just through injuries and whatnot. So I think it's just guys just getting the feel of spacing, where people are going to be, where their spots are, running plays that they may not have ran previously. Again, you get a completely different lineup dynamic now when you have the second unit run with Austin and LeBron. Well, previously, it was just Austin. So there's a lot of changes that are incorporated, again, just adding a piece as big as LeBron. So the shooting woes don't really concern me a ton. I mean, we are a roster that is not flush with a ton of three-point shooters either. We got guys that are capable of making them, but by no stretch of the imagination are these guys snipers. So that's just kind of our play style, and I honestly believe that's how it's going to be the rest of the season. That's kind of how it's been for most of this tenure since LeBron James has joined the Lakers, is that we're, for the most part, a heavy paint attack team. Anthony Davis is kind of that way. We see it now with Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic. Guys just attack the rim, get to the free throw line a lot, but we take a decent bit of threes, but we don't make a ton. I think, to be honest, I think we're probably in the bottom, like near the bottom of like 3-point attempts and makes, just throughout the league. We just don't shoot as many as other teams, but that's not our bread and butter. That's not necessarily our skill set. So again, we're now second in the West, so I can't say that the shooting is necessary or needed. Obviously, it'll need to be, that's like around. We can't just not have it, but I don't think that's necessarily our style, and I don't think we necessarily need to bend or conform to a heavy 3-point shooting team. So again, just the ugly game that was played last night, some lapses, even the final couple possessions, it just felt like a lot of clunkiness. Felt like guys didn't really know exactly what to do, exactly how to execute, but that's what the season's for, right? You kind of get those reps. LeBron, I believe, even said at the post-game presser that this is kind of his preseason. He didn't get to participate a ton in preseason or, just the practices. So he's kind of learning in real time, how to integrate back with this team and some of the new pieces. So again, I don't think it's anything to worry about long-term. It's just, because some of the grind of incorporating a massive piece into a team that has kind of been rolling. So honestly, getting a double against the Jazz, I think, was probably a good test team to get LeBron back into game shape with. So I take kind of as it is, but I expect that better days ahead of them. And at the end of the day, they got the win. So, in the long term, that's all it's going to matter.
Yeah, man, I agree. I don't know that this team is gonna be excellent or a quote unquote great 3-point shooting team no matter what, you know what I'm saying? But I know, for instance, I've seen playoff games where I've seen Marcus Smart hit 3 3-pointers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We've seen guys make shots, and I think that's what's most important, is that guys are able to make shots situationally, basically. And as long as we have that, I think that's what matters. So I'm not really, the 3-point numbers really mean nothing to me, because I come from an era where there was more than one way to win a basketball game. You know what I'm saying? Different teams had different play styles, and you won differently. You don't got to play somebody else's play style better than them to beat them. You play your style your best, and that is supposed to be better than their style at their best. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's mostly what we need to focus on. Guys that have proven to offset that their elite shooting is offset by how much pressure they put on the rim and get free throw attempts and open looks for players. So LeBron, we all we all know LeBron doesn't get the free throws he probably should, but the pressure that he puts on the rim, coupled with the open looks that he's getting for guys, it makes up for what we feel like that difference probably should be for extra free throws he probably get. You know what I'm saying? Austin has a favorable whistle, so he may have a bad night shooting from three, but he's probably gonna get the 6, 7, 8 free throws that might come out to being the 2.5 threes he might fuck around make on a given night. You probably can pencil Luka in for 3 made threes a night, most likely. On a good night, he might give you 5, 6.
And to that point, they might not be efficient threes, right? It could be 3 for 8, 3 for 9. While that's, 33%, a little bit higher, you're going to take a look and at the stat sheet and how that impacts total team numbers, and you'll look at it one way, but you watch the game and know that these were heat check threes or within the flow of, pushing the momentum one way or the other. The stats can't tell the whole story.
Right.
The Lakers are second in field goal percentage in the league, right? They are towards the bottom in 3-point percentage. Okay? I am okay, to your point, Jody, of being who you are. Do you want to be higher than fifth in 3-point percentage? For sure. Are you going to take being the second best field goal percentage shooting team in the league behind Denver? Yeah, that sounds like a team that is usually in the mix for championships every year because they're dominating the paint. Contrary to popular belief, shooting top 5 in threes is not the only way to live a successful NBA season. And also, that's such a stat that ebbs and flows, man. I'm sorry. 3-point shooting comes and goes. Even your top marksmen, right? They call what? Shooting slumps.
Right.
Sorry, man. They don't have dunking slumps, right?
Yeah,
they don't have alley-oop slumps.
Right.
That's what the Lakers are doing. That's their showtime, or they're getting to the free throw line. Easier points. I'm good with that.
Yeah, and I get what people talk about analytics, 3-point shot, the revolution of it, but I mean, we all watched Houston miss 27 straight threes and, lose an opportunity to go to the NBA Finals because they didn't know what else to do. That was their whole game plan. So I'll be honest with your point. I think pressure on the rim is important. I think every team needs a healthy balance. And maybe ours are just a little more skewed towards getting into that paint. Again, we got guys that are going to draw a lot of fouls and, will get to the paint and, just cause havoc from that point. And, hey, Luka threes, to me, those are worth double points. The way them step backs hit, I mean, he hit a couple of those. You don't know if you're gonna fall off the cliff or what's gonna come next. So it gets spooky when he starts making a few. And again, he'll have ones that are clunkers. I mean, he started last night's game. He was shooting terribly, and then you look up, he got 30 points. You know what I'm saying? It's like he'll find a way. And like I said, sometimes he's got to shoot himself into rhythm, and that he carries that burden on offense. And Austin's kind of the same way. LeBron will find his way too. But to Jody's point, we got 3 of the most timely shot makers in the league on our team. So when push comes to shove and you need a guy to get a bucket, is your role player that stands in the corner going to be that guy, or are you going to need a Luka, Austin, a LeBron? Like I said, we got 3 of those guys, so I'm not worried about the team and their 3-point shooting. Like I said, I think we'll get our buckets how we get them, and if it's got to be a little dirtier than some other teams, so be it. But the rim pressure, I think, is important, and like I said, the free throw numbers, that's always been big with the Lakers. We've always been a high, free throw attempt shooting team. And I think it's just going to continue that way.
Late Night Lake Show.
Switching gears, all eyes to the king, LeBron James, finally back from his sciatica stint, which I will continue to say again, was not made up, because it is a real thing. And it really, 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 really hurts. But we're happy to have the king back. LeBron James threw 2 games, both against the Utah Jazz, averaging 14 points, 10 assists, shooting 28% from 3, but 48% from the field. There's been a lot of talk, a lot of anticipation on how the fit would be alongside Luka Doncic. You saw Luka and Austin and Ayton start to form a little chemistry while LeBron was ramping up. LeBron is back. Jody, how does LeBron look?
I mean, he's looked how I expected him to look. I definitely was interested in seeing this guy run consistently, because I know I've seen people who have a bad sciatica, how it impacts them to walk, you know what I'm saying? And so I was just interested in seeing him kind of like banging a little bit. But He looked about as I expected. I knew we was getting at least 10 points. You knew that was going to come no matter what. LeBron would tackle somebody before not getting his 10 points in his game. He come back, you know what I mean? I think the most thing that's indicative of it is his assist numbers. Like, nobody honestly cares about what LeBron does scoring at this point. Like, who really gives a fuck what LeBron does scoring? There's nothing that he has not proven scoring a basketball. So truly, who gives a fuck about the scoring part of it? That's gonna come because, like, it goes without saying. I think him being able to pass and get that many assists his first night out, his second night out, just shows he's able to, you know what I'm saying, really just see how the game goes no matter who he's playing with. And then also I think the conversation about if LeBron can play with Luka or AR together, because it's just hilarious to me because it's almost like we didn't just see this shit earlier this year, as if Luka and LeBron didn't play together in 2025. I don't know if people remember these things. So to me, it's not a if they can, it's a how far can they go together type of thing. I just think about it like, y'all remember that game? I forget who was playing, and I think Luka took the game-winning shot and it ended up rimming out, and then LeBron just tipped the shit in. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. That was Luka's like first couple of games on the team.
Yeah, it made me think like, just like last night when Luka just had some moments where he's just like, hey, man, I'm just not letting this shit slip away. LeBron can just be the free guy and let Luka do what he want to do. And in those moments where Luka's about to get this last shot, LeBron can be the guy crashing the glass just in case there's you know what I'm saying? There's so many roles that we really haven't seen LeBron get to play that he probably is going to get the opportunity to do now. Because we've never really seen LeBron be in position to get a quote unquote game winner because it's a tip shot from the best player on the team. You know what I'm saying? And for him to be able to still have the presence of mind and make that shot, even though this is last year I'm talking about, to the point of them being able to play together. Like, for him to be able to do that, it obviously shows he has the mental ability to stay locked in the game, even though he's not the one making the final decision on who shoots or passes the ball. You know what I'm saying? I think that was my best way of kind of like, when I think about if LeBron and Luka and AR can play together, like we've seen flashes of them being successful.
LeBron's a basketball player, man. He's a basketball genius. He's a basketball wizard. He's a basketball savant. It's whatever positive adjective you want to add outside of it. I don't think we have sat here and watched him play for over 2 decades and thought, wow, that man can only play basketball one type of way. He can only fit in with one type of player. I don't understand. He's played with Kyrie before. He's won a championship with Kyrie. He's played with D. He's won a championship with D-Wade. He's played with Anthony Davis. He's won a championship with Anthony Davis. Whatever concoction of this may not work, LeBron's already adjusted, man, with a similar style basketball player. Is Luka more talented than Kyrie? I don't know. Y'all can argue that on your podcast, but all I know is, as far as volume, dribble the air out the ball, but you let them do it because they're that cold, they're in the same bucket. LeBron seems like he can figure it out, and I believe he's going to. And what better way to kind of get acclimated to that than a little early season ramp-up period? Mm-hmm. No one's expecting LeBron James to go off for 35 a night. I don't think we're expecting that more than maybe 5 times, and hopefully they're all in the playoffs.
Right.
Outside of that, we just got done talking about it. It's starting to get a little cold outside, y'all. I don't see no snow on the ground. We haven't talked about Super Bowl party plans. Until then, leave me alone about LeBron's fit and how much he needs to adjust. Kwame, am I tripping, or is that's not about right?
Oh, you're right on the money, man. Like, all the conversation about LeBron's fit was absolutely ridiculous. Like, I don't know. Again, it's just for clicks. It's for conversation. It's to fill the dead air. It's to fill, time slots on, TV shows. But everybody knew that this would be fine. Again, I don't know why people still think that LeBron James, 23 years in, who's been begging to throw the keys at somebody else, would think that now that he can come in and be second, even honestly, through these first 2 games, he's basically been the third option. Why would again, I think he's fine with that. People think that he's so wrapped up in himself and so egotistical that he couldn't fathom another player on his team possibly getting the recognition that he deserves. Like, come on, guys. What are we talking about? LeBron is fine. He's a plug and play player the way people talk about Kevin Durant, how he can just go around and plug himself in any system and be a player. LeBron, almost any great player can do that. Again, is there an adjustment period at the beginning? Sure, people got to get used to each other. But once that happens, for the most time, it works, man. Like we don't see a ton of times where it doesn't. And I guess if you define works and doesn't work simply by winning a championship, I guess you could say there's instances where it hasn't. But on the court, products are usually pretty good for the most part. But LeBron's one of these players who is so versatile in his skill set that he could do anything. How could he possibly be a negative? How could he possibly be a negative? You get another high IQ player. You get another playmaker on the court. You get another shot maker. You get a low post threat. Like, you get so many things kind of wrapped up in one player. And now he doesn't have the pressure of being the number one option that has to deliver on all those measurables. Now he can pick or choose where he needs to. Obviously, like I said, is his energy going to be, 100% all time? Nah, man, he's going to be 41 in like a month in some change. So like, you gotta understand that. But I think he's fine with this, man. I don't even think he wants to be the second option. I think he's totally cool even being third behind AR, man. It really feels like, especially watching these last 2 games, he's totally fine doing whatever. He had some wild passes. I think the role players are really going to eat a little bit more with LeBron James on the court. Not to say that Luka isn't a willing passer, but Luka's going to dial his own number more times than he's going to dial somebody else's. You know what I'm saying? He's going to get that 34 through hell or high water. He's going to get them buckets if he can.
Luka, he got a lot of that James Harden in him where if he's getting the assist, it's coming at the very end of the possession when he got to get rid of the ball after he done danced. And you know what I mean? And I'm not hating, to be clear. I'm just saying that's how a lot of it is gonna look, unless it's like a set play or you above the break or something like that. But that's kind of a lot of that going. Whereas LeBron, he'll let that thing go. You know what I'm saying? Whenever, if he see fit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think the role players are really going to like that. Like, you saw Aiden, he was eating game 1. And not to say he wasn't eating the rest of the season, but LeBron is intentionally going out his way to dish him easy buckets. Like I said, Luka might, he might see that pass, but, I'm going to take this bump, get to the free throw line, or I'm going to call my own number. Like I said, LeBron going to make them passes to them role players. I was watching Jake LaRavia and DeAndre Ayton feast off his passes in these 2 games, man. So I think that's only going to continue to happen. And again, even in that second unit where it's kind of him and Austin, some role players, Austin, you can kind of be the scorer. LeBron is fine being Magic Johnson, bro. Like, I don't think he has a problem with that either. He led the league in assists the championship year. He can do so many different things. Like I said, wait till he gets his legs under him, a little bit more wind in him. I think he'll be a lot better on the defensive end too, just in terms of rotations flying around. He looked a little flat in game 2 specifically, especially on his jump shot. Looked very, very flat. Looked like he just didn't have his legs under him. But again, going from injury management to full-blown NBA games,
basketball.
like, that's hard, man. It's going to take some time to ramp up. So I think ultimately he's going to be fine. The fit was never a concern to me. We literally saw it last year. If they just had a starting caliber center, it probably is a very different playoff run they have last season. You know what I'm saying? So the limitation is not LeBron, Austin, and Luka. That is not the limiting factor here. It's a lot of the role players and how that goes, but we went out, got ourselves a starting caliber center who has been phenomenal all season. LeBron's been good, man. He's going to continue to be good. But again, at the end of the day, Luka's the driver of this car, man. LeBron's going to fit in where he needs to fit in. So, I just feel bad for people who just don't get to embrace the greatness that LeBron's been able to show us. And this is just another way that he's going to do it. So I'm excited to see how he integrates the rest of the season. But for me, I'm chilling. There's no pressure. There's no pressure. As a monk from the Bron Temple, this is no pressure for us, man. We chilling.
I just wrote a story on a website that you guys don't know about. We'll talk about later on a different pod. But I made the analogy that the transfer of the LeBron James era to the Luka Doncic era It's a lot like that feeling that when you in charge of the aux cord at the party and you find that next song that you know really gonna fuck them up, right? Their
Mm-hmm.
flow is going, everything's sounding good, and then you find that D cut, right? They're like, "Oh, hey, who the you? That's you?
Mm-hmm.
My nigga." That's what it feels like moving from LeBron James to Luka Doncic. It is a natural transfer of power because we have a gracious older superstar that is not fighting and kicking and screaming for post touches or perimeter, and dribbling the ball, the air out the ball. LeBron James is here to share the wealth. His final form is Magic Johnson. Sorry, y'all. That's it's just gonna have to be something that y'all deal with. And that might be a little disrespectful to some people, maybe, but LeBron James is 2 games in, averaging 14 and 10. You don't think when he's back to full strength that goes to, I don't know, 20 and 12, 20 and 13? LeBron James, if he wanted to, could average 14 assists a game, especially with the amount of scores on the court. Easy money.
And to y'all point about LeBron's an assist, like Luka is playing a different game right now with the Lakers that only certain great players get to play, like the Shaqs, the Kobes, the LeBrons, the Lukas. And so he's gonna go after that. So he gotta do what he gotta do. He gonna get his numbers. He gonna try to lead his team, and LeBron is gonna be able to be the bridge to the other guys on the team that make sure that they can consistently get their looks, consistently get their touches, consistently get their shots in their pockets in a smooth way. And that's gonna be really, really great about his game. And that's what I meant when I was like, who cares about LeBron scoring? Like,
Yep.
who cares? Like, LeBron, what does it matter, bro? Like, if somebody get the scoring record or whatever, they gonna have earned it. Hey, this is a worthy person to take my record.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I feel like I'm imagining LeBron is probably thinking, I need to do nothing but pass to get guys involved to make this team as dangerous as possible. Let me pass and rebound. Let me clear this glass and get the ball out to where it needs to be. And I'll get my easy points when it's there. You know what I'm saying? Because they're going to always worry about me. It's almost like the perfect kind, because it's like, man, you can't stop him from passing the ball because he sees everything. So I really think Brian is like the bridge between the past generation and the newer generation, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's like you were saying too, Rick, like it's just gonna go so seamlessly into Luka. And Luka got another, I'm assuming 8 to 10 years, depending on
Of his prime. Yeah.
of his prime, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
The boy's in his mid-20s. Let's be clear. This is a long runway, and it still will never make sense to me why the Dallas Mavericks would punt on a player entering his prime that didn't
like
have to
how
leave.
perfect could that? You couldn't have written some shit like that.
No, dead ass. Like, this was just Lakers fan fiction that came to truth. Like, there was no way that you could have, like, the script writers were in their bag for this one, because I couldn't have come up with this one in a million years. But this is the reality we in, and it's nice to have Luka Doncic as a Laker, man.
Life's good. Luka Doncic will not be alone in this next era of Lakers basketball. He'll be joined by a brand new top dog running the show. We'll get into it soon. Late Night Lake Show. We'll be right back. All right, fellas, let's get into the biggest story in Lakerland. And honestly, probably the biggest story in the NBA front office world right now if you're not the Los Angeles Clippers. Mark Walter didn't just get the Los Angeles Lakers for $10 billion to become majority owner. He came in and immediately started making moves. Joey Buss, Jesse Buss, gone. Off into the ethos to, I don't know, do what other billionaire owners do, kick their feet up in the sand and enjoy the rest of their lives. What they will not be doing is making decisions for the Los Angeles Lakers. News reported last week that Mark Walter had removed both Joey and Jesse Buss from the Lakers basketball operations departments. Same Joey and Jesse Buss, who have been integratedly to the Lakers, both scouting department, the South Bay Lakers, and all of those second-round steal of fines, your Larry Nance Jr., your Jordan Clarkson's, hell, even your Austin Reeves. I guess that all led to nothing, which would lead us to the fact that it came out in the report that both Joey or Jesse Buss had not talked to their sister, Jeannie Buss, or Rob Pelinka, Littlefinger in this whole situation, in about 5 months. So what does that mean? The Los Angeles Lakers will be without 2 members of the Buss family who have been a part of the organization for over 20 years. I have thoughts, but I want to kick it to our 2 newer Laker lifers, right? Both of you guys came with the Church of LeBron. The Buss family has been synonymous with the Los Angeles Lakers. We all know the story about Dr. Jerry Buss passing it down to Jeannie, Jeannie having beef with her family, and now we fast forward to the year of our Lord 2025, and blood is not thicker than water. Fellas, your reaction to the Mark Walter firing of Joey and Jesse Buss?
The Walters send their regards. That's exactly what it was. When you said they downvoted him, it was like, oh, all right, bet. We don't take care of that.
And just to clarify, Joey and Jesse Buss brought up to the Board of Governors to have a vote on this situation, and the whole Jeannie selling to Mark Walter, the team, this was something that would combat that. If you got enough people to vote no, it wasn't going to go down. It's so funny. I just started watching Succession, just finished season 1. Fire show. This feels
Very
like this
good
is
television.
This literally feels like it was season 1 of Succession just brought to the Lakers' doorstep. They wanted to block the sale. The sale goes through. What does the head nigga in charge do on day 2? Get rid of the traders. Makes sense to me. Kwame, you surprised that those heads were the first ones to go? Just kind of how it goes when you start clearing house and taking over.
Yeah, come on, man. They had to see the writing on the wall. You can't downvote the majority sale, and then when the big dog walks through, think you just gonna escape the guillotine. Nah, your head's gonna roll down the center of the town lobby like everybody else. So like, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate for them because I feel like, again, just in my brief Laker tenure of like 6 years or so, I remember Joey and Jesse getting a lot of praise for, again, the draft picks, the players they were scooping up, the guys in South Bay, the farm system, how they were able to bring actually some pretty decent talent. I mean, you think Alex Caruso, you think Austin Reeves, like you said, the Larry Nances, the Jordan Clarksons, like they've been a part of the process for a long time. And especially the Lakers have had pretty good drafts, especially when you think like second round and those type of guys. They've been able to pick up people who have stuck in the league and maybe not stuck with the Lakers organization, but have found their footing in the leagues. Give their credit where credit's due. I think they did a good job of being able to scout and find talent. But this is just the case, man. When you're against a new ownership and new ownership comes in, they're going to clear house against people who don't see the vision, who don't see the mission. Why you want people who are against your best interests, in your own house with you? You gonna sleep in the same bed as your enemy? Probably not. Whoever closed their eyes first gonna get the yink. So I get it. I understand it. This makes total sense. And they had to understand this. Now, it's unfortunate that, again, their father's business, which they thought would essentially sit within the Buss family forever, is no longer theirs. And that's not to say it's a complete sale. Like, they are minority shareholders. They still have stake in the business. It's just, they're not majority. They don't get to make the calls, the claims, all that stuff. But I think this is a necessary step, man. The NBA's moved away from mom and pop ownership. Like nowadays, there's so much money in these sports ownerships. These are guys that this is their second, or third or fourth source of income. It's not their main source as it was with the Los Angeles Lakers. I think if you looked at like all the owners and, net worth, Jeannie was near the bottom of the list, man, of NBA owners. So it was, and again, this is the most popular basketball franchise in the entire world. You know what I'm saying? So it needed a fresh set of eyes and needed a fresh pocketbook, so to speak. Your Lakers fans, Los Angeles locals already know what Mark Walter has been able to do with the Dodgers and how they've been able to rise from the ashes and just dominate the MLB. So what's to say that same backing can't come to the Lakers? So I know there's a ton of excitement. It is unfortunate for Joey and Jesse, but I mean, come on, man. This is run of the mill business to me. So, I guess the bright side of it for Joey and Jesse, I think they each pulled in about like $1 billion for themselves just in the sales. So, they'll be the saddest rich people I know. So, hey, you take it with a grain of salt, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably going to kill him to not still be truly synonymous with the Lakers like
Definitely.
the Buss family always have been. But, in a while, when a lion kill another lion and take over his pride, what they usually do, kill the other baby lions too.
Yep. Got to get rid of them.
And, so they seen that coming. They was probably like, you know what, this is just a formality at this point, so they probably don't care. But I would just say this probably just the beginning changes, and I would imagine it could be anything. If you don't get down, you're gonna lay down type of deals.
Right. Well, that's where I wanted to go, Jody. Obviously, with these departures, right? It's on both sides. There's the immediate hole that is left. You know, the Bus brothers, for all intents and purposes, Kwame touched on it earlier, they were legit player development guys, right? They found talent, they built the scouting departments, and now the scouting department's no more. Like, they were not the only heads to roll. Let's just be clear. There was another Bus name that I didn't even know existed. He had a job, right? I didn't know if he was the team masseuse or the water boy. He's out, and a few other guys. I mean, you're sad to see people lose their good paying jobs, but in the short term, is the tearing down the house to the studs going to let in a draft? And if that draft gets in, is there going to be some hiccups on the way to rebuilding this in your image if you're Mr. Mark Walter? Or do you expect a pretty fast turnover right now that he is Thanos in El Segundo?
I mean, it's gonna be missteps, and you know what I'm saying, but it don't matter because he's like you said, the HNIC now. So whatever missteps happen, they gonna keep going and move forward. The good thing is you got the player, you got the coach. Those are like two legit cornerstones. You know what I'm saying? And as good as the Bus brothers may have been, maybe are. They're not the only people that's capable of being great scouts. You know what I mean? So it's not as if the job can't be filled with somebody else that's just as capable, a man or a woman that's just as capable and just as good as picking talent and seeking talent and going out and finding what's what, where's where. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even look at it as like a bad thing. I think just like you said with what they've done with baseball, I'm just hoping that they are able to hire the right people to know what they're looking for. I don't know how you determine what makes a scout good or bad. You know what I'm saying? But hopefully they have the resources and wherewithal to figure out who's who and what's what. And at the end of the day, if it all works out, if the Lakers win a championship in the next, the Lakers won a championship in 2020. It's 2026 now.
Yeah, they got 4 years.
So yeah, how long was it before when this group bought the Dodgers to when the Dodgers won their most recent of these last titles? Like, I feel like something relative to that should be like the window. Not that baseball that's 162 games is apples to apples to basketball that's 82 games. You know what I'm saying? So it's not necessarily the same, but I'm imagining that should be something to your point about like, are we letting it rock if it's a hiccup or how is it, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that should be like a good reference point of what we're looking at, and we can be consistent on that because we have a player that's in the heart of his prime that we know for a fact has been to the finals and has been to that promised land. Taking LeBron out of it, because whether he plays 1 year, 2 years, whatever, we've seen 85 to 90% of the time that he's gonna be a Laker. You know what I'm saying? So you got the coach that you trust. I feel like JJ and Luka. Do y'all think they have a good working relationship that they could be good? I feel like because if you think Jason Kidd's a good coach, I feel like you should have confidence in JJ Redick, basically. So I think everything is right there for him.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, it's at the end of the day, you're gonna think like, was the Bus family only employing, family members? I mean, it may be a little on the cheaper side. You run it as a family business where, I mean, I don't know the stipulations around front office hiring and if there's a cap or anything, but you would assume that Mark Walter and, his pocketbook can get the best in the business, the best money can buy. And that's maybe something that the old Lakers guard couldn't when you think of scouting. But I mean, I think this is just kind of a common thing. I mean, you think of the last several teams that have rolled off on the sale book. You think of the Mavericks, you think of the Timberwolves, you think Celtics, Lakers, Trailblazers, all teams that have recently gone for sale. New owner, even the Phoenix Suns, new ownership is often want to get in and make their mark. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to clean house how they need to, whether it's star players, whether it's GMs. Again, you think these are these billionaires like playthings, so to speak. So they're going to fix it however they want to. And again, if it doesn't go the way it is, they sell it and they move on, and that's not to say people aren't, invested in winning or anything of that shape, but they want to make the mark their own, Patrick Dumont, that was one of the things he said when the Luka trade went down, is, he wants to make his mark, you know what I'm saying? So is Anthony Davis the mark for his era? I mean, we'll see. We already saw Nico Harrison got booted already. Didn't even get a year past the trade, you know what I'm saying? And he was already out. You see with the Suns, you see how he was quick to bring guys in, and the moment it didn't work, he fired coach year after year. You know what I'm saying? He didn't care. It's a carousel for these guys, and so they're gonna bring in people or remove people as they deem fit to fit the vision they have for the team, regardless of the history, regardless of how long you've been there. And I think Mark Walters gonna be a little more sensitive to that fact. As you see, he spared Jeannie, he spared Rob, but again, those sound like people who are with the vision. And if you're not with the vision,
I feel like they
go.
don't notice though. That's why I was asking about Jeannie and Rob. Like, I feel like even when people be like, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be all good," yeah, they still double back and be like, "You know what? I got somebody better that I actually want in this position that I think is gonna be better." And so we appreciate your contributions, but we gonna have to.
Yeah. Everybody but Jeannie, I feel like, has an unknown next to their name. I think Jeannie and Mark Walter know exactly what Jeannie's off ramp looks like, what her offboarding looks like for her Laker decision making career. They did, that announcement when they sold the team. What was the next thing they said out their mouth? Jeannie will still be a part of basketball decision making. They ain't say the Bus family. They said Jeannie Bus is going to stay. This isn't a full break. So I can almost guarantee behind closed doors, that's all written in paperwork. The lawyers already got it. They figured all that out before the sale even went through. The rest of them, brother, there's going to be a lot more cardboard boxes around those El Segundo offices. I can guarantee you that, man. No one's safe. And honestly, it did make me think about Rob. Now, did Rob Pelinka trade for a top 3 NBA talent? Yes, absolutely. My final question on this topic for y'all is, all things considered, how much time does that buy you trading for Luka Doncic? What do you think?
To be honest, I'd probably give Rob to the end of I don't know when his contract's up, but that's probably how long he's got. I doubt that unless something drastic happens, they'll probably keep him on board until, that contract ends, and then they reevaluate. That'd be my guess. Again, unless he does, a Nico Harrison level move, I expect him to kind of finish out his contract. And again, who knows? Jeannie seems to go to bat for Rob every opportunity she has, so she might help move that needle a little bit longer and keep Rob extended again. So it's hard to really tell, but yeah, I'll be honest. Even your point where you say, Jeannie's probably the only one who's locked in. I mean, we look what just happened with the Mavericks. Mark Cuban was supposed to still be in the executive room, but then the trade went down and he said he ain't get a word. He's just season ticket holder Mark Cuban now. And Mark Cuban got money, bro. He's no bum out here. And they casted him to the side because this is a new era of Mavericks basketball. So, like I said, Jeannie and all them, they can hold their positions only as long as Mark Walter wants them to hold it. The moment he doesn't feel like they're necessary, they're out, and they don't get no second choice about it. So, again, we don't know what his personality or anything. Not to say that he's going to just cast people to the side, but don't be surprised if more comes down the pipeline sooner than y'all think.
Yeah, man. This reminds me of The Godfather. I don't know if y'all really watched The Godfather, but that's one of my favorite movies. But I remember towards the end of Vito's life when he was talking to Michael and he's trying to tell him how it's going to go as the succession is going. And he's like, they're going to come to you with somebody that you absolutely trust to set up a meeting guaranteeing your safety. And at that meeting, you will be assassinated.
Right. Yeah.
And that's exactly what they tried to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that, to your point about like Rob Pelinka, like, cause you're like, yeah, like a sale probably can't go down without one quote unquote bust family member having a smooth transition out of ownership. You know what I'm saying? But to your point of like, how long does Rob have? Like, I'm not sure how long. It's probably one of those, it's a fluid type of thing. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, you're going to be good to the end of your contract at least. And then something I'm pretty sure, what's his name? Mavericks GM. It was you got to the end of your contract. Do what you going to do. And then AD got hurt. And then Kyrie got hurt. And then you looking at it and you like, you know what? Yeah, go ahead and step off, bro. You know, we appreciate what you did, but we'll go ahead and get you out of here. You know, so that's why I feel like Jeannie might be like, yeah, man, Rob, it's going to be all good here. Come on, we about to go get some lunch. You know what I'm saying? Have a good time and be there with some papers like, man, it's all good. You know, I appreciate we had a good run.
Yeah. Sign these severance papers right here. To your point, it's all good till it's not.
Yeah.
And once it's not, your head's on the chopping block.
Yeah, man. They'll tell you it's all good until everything is set in stone. Now we can take you out back.
Yep.
That's why you got to add that, you know, that ace up the sleeve. That again, Secession season 1, Greg, the tall, awkward dude, Greg the Egg. He stopped getting less and less stupid as the season went on. I remember one, you know, he told the oldest son, as they was about to go do the whole coup, switching, you know, tried to take his dad off the throne. Greg was like, hey, you know, just so you know, them papers they had me shred up about the cruise ship. Yeah, I made some copies of those. So, you know, any regime change, I'd expect to be kept, if you feel what I'm saying. And I feel like even at that level of business and backdoor workings, what the son do? I mean, he couldn't do nothing but respect it, right? There's again, and then the father at the end, when he was the senator went to say, you want to shake hands, he's like, I don't think any of us want to get our hands dirty, meaning that everybody involved is doing some two-way stuff. You know, I guess maybe except Jeannie, because you leave it to her. She ain't speak to not one of them.
No, she said, go ahead, get them out of here. I'm cool.
She put on that new iPhone feature that, you know, just sends everybody to voicemail and does the screening. She said, oh, Joey, nope, I'm good. No,
he gonna get his money. He's straight.
Yeah, he's straight.
Right.
He'll be all right.
Man, talk about a golden parachute. Can't help but to think at least a couple of those strings on the parachute with Joey and Jimmy, they feel like have been cut. But best of luck to them. I do think, as to close this out, it is unfortunate that this is clearly the signal of the end of an era, right? The Bus Lakers era is ending. And maybe this was the funeral, right? Like, because outside of them being minority owners and Jeannie publicly saying is going to be a part of the decision making, the Lakers up until 2025, mom and pop ran organization. Kwame said it earlier. Those don't exist anymore in America, right? Yeah, you may have made your money off of the NBA coming up, but those owners have long sold out to the tech bros. Then counted their paper and rode off into the sunset. I appreciate Jeannie running this organization, you know, and getting us to the point where we're at now. To be honest, if you're asking me, this is a pretty natural off-ramp, especially when everybody has had a chance to run almost everything, and there's been so much turmoil along the way. It's not like this was the happiest family in the world leading up to this point. They've been in the tabloids with each other with beef almost all of my life. So if this is just the end of one of the great family-ran sports organizations before it moves into Silicon Valley, let the richest billionaire wins, sorry, man. Banner's going to live forever, and they all going to have the bus names attached to them, and forevermore. I'm sure they'll stay my owners for forever. But we're the money team now, baby. We with the big billionaires, right? Mr. Walter, Mr. Walter, what you need me to do, man? I'll sweep. I'll clean. I'm good with calculation. What you need, big dog? Shoot, I'm looking for a job. Let's get into it, man. Real quick, before we get out of here, fellas, the Los Angeles Lakers are 2-0 in NBA Cup play. the Los Angeles Clippers somehow are also 2-0. I think they have 4 wins on the season. How they're undefeated in NBA Cup play is pretty impressive. But Kawhi Leonard's out. The owner's being investigated. Chris Paul has announced that this is his last season in the NBA. By the time the listeners are hearing this, the Lakers and Clippers will be playing tonight. Just overall, NBA Cup predictions: will the Lakers take care of business and move on their way to Las Vegas to count that money? Kwame, what you think?
I would say so. I mean, I don't think our group is too scary in terms of the NBA Cup. We have the Lakers, Clippers, Grizzlies, Mavericks, Pelicans. I mean, all 4 of those teams outside the Lakers are pretty rough, man. Like these are teams that are not making any noise out west. So to your question, I think we definitely get out of this group phase. After that, it's kind of single game elimination, but we got guys that if they roll into your gym, it's not going to be an easy game to play. So I'd be curious just how invested the Lakers are in winning the NBA Cup. I know teams have acted like it wasn't a big deal in the past. Lakers could be the first team to be a 2-time Cup champions. Hey, win whenever you can. I don't see why there's a reason that we don't. So honestly, I think we're going to sweep group play. I don't think we're going to lose a game in this sucker in the group play. Like, there's just no way unless guys just decide to not show up at literally not get on the bus to the arena. Otherwise, I think this is going to be pretty straightforward. Like I said, once you get beyond that, it gets a little dicey. But I think the Lakers have as good of an opportunity as any team in the Western Conference to get to the NBA Cup final in Vegas. I think we are a top 4 team in the Western Conference. I think the other teams are the Thunder, the Nuggets, and the Rockets. And that's just early season, the top 4 seeds. I'll be honest, I don't know if anybody really breaks that mold. Just we think of talent, cohesion, top player, like those guys, these teams got it all. So I like where the Lakers are slotted right now. And as we continue to go through the season, I predict that we'll kind of stay in that fold. Like I said, barring any injuries or anything extravagant, but I like their chances, man. I like their chances. So hopefully we put the Clippers to bed, man. That team, oh my goodness, what a disastrous offseason those boys had. I mean, they brought in Brooke Lopez and Chris Paul and Bradley Beal and John Collins, and they're just not getting anything done. And obviously the Bradley Beal injury is just unfortunate. Unfortunate for a guy who hasn't seemed to be able to get his footing in, man, since John Wall was playing next to him in the league. You know what I'm saying? Just a really tough road for him to just kind of get back to that star level. To be honest, at this point, we might not see it again. I think, what was it, a hip fracture he's out with?
We might need to just call it one, man.
Yeah, it might be up for Brad.
Paychecks, but yeah, I don't think we're checking for Bradley Beal.
Nah, Chris Paul, I mean, I don't know. I'll be honest, I would have pegged his retirement to have come maybe 2 seasons earlier. Last season he did play 82 games though, so good for him playing with the San Antonio Spurs, played the entire season. So good for him. But I mean, ever since he left, what was it? The Suns, yeah, and they sent him to Golden State. That to me was the nail in the coffin for Chris Paul. And now he's just a journeyman coming off the bench for the Clippers. At this point, he's just playing to play, but he already announced his retirement. Hell of a career. He was one of my favorite point guards dating back to 2008. I remember the old school Hornets. I love Chris Paul, man. He was a little guy who got it done on the court, so I had a ton of respect for him in his game, but it's time to put a close to that. But the Clippers, man, they're a nothing team, man. I'm still curious what's going on with all the Kawhi Leonard, Steve Ballmer stuff. There's just so much surrounding that team, and the lack of on-court success, they've just kind of fallen out of people's mind of just caring about them. So I hope we put belt to them on Tuesday, and I mean belt. Like, I want to smack these dudes around, you know what I'm saying? Because they were parading on us for 5 years prior, so I'm ready to flip the tides back in the Lakers' favor of us just smacking them every time we see them. So yeah, that's kind of my assessment thus far, but I think we're good in NBA Cup play, and no love lost for the Clippers.
Jody, I'll let you get the final word, but I just wanted to echo what Kwame said. Is basketball throughout the season, right? Especially if you've been watching the same team year over year, you kind of understand the identity, the flow, where the team usually has issues. Growing up, the Lakers, anytime they went up to Portland, it was trouble. Even if Portland wasn't a great team, I still have PTSD going up to Portland and playing the Trailblazers for those reasons exactly. But you think back to, LeBron's Laker tenure, even with all the success we've had, they usually have been coupled with, during the regular season, the Clippers putting belt to our ass. And that's been, honestly, one of the most not really important but annoying pieces of the LeBron James era. Not on LeBron, but just this stretch, because the Clippers and all the big moves that they made at the same time. We got the hardware. They do not. Streetlight over spotlights, rings over, tree donations. But that's neither here nor there. Just appreciate those signs in the season that say, this feels different. This looks different. Last few years, I think the Lakers would have jagged that Utah game away.
Mm-hmm.
Even with Anthony Davis, even with LeBron James. I think it's different now. And the Clippers ass whooping while they're down, I would love to dance on their graves.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Jody?
Oh, I'm loving this whole thing. The way that the Clippers was spoken about in 2019, 2020, the beginning of the decade, and now we're at the turn of the decade, and it's all crashing to the fucking ground.
Mm-hmm.
Everything built on some bullshit lies, bullshit propaganda, and propaganda in NBA is okay if there's substance to it. For instance, people love the Chicago Bulls in the 90s. Was there some propaganda with the Bulls? Absolutely. But you want to know why that's okay? Those guys put hardware
Yeah, they wouldn't want
Mm-hmm.
in the building.
Tell whatever story you want. Make whatever
Winning cures
folklore you want.
When you
Dennis Rodman
win at
had
that
30
level,
women and 20 men a night, and that's what led to his 15 rebounds again. You can say whatever you want.
when you win at that level, I might say we play 5 on 15 and we still beat them niggas. But when you do all of the propaganda and the hoopla and the bullshit, and we ain't seen their final appearance, at least the Heat, when they did the hoopla and the propaganda and the bullshit, at least LeBron had enough respect for us to melt in front of the world at the finals. When we seen that nigga touch the final stage, at least we got there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They did all of the hoopla and the extra bullshit and was talking across networks. Like, you did all of the bullshit. You didn't circumvented the salary cap. You didn't laundered money. You didn't
trafficked people everything.
You did everything under the sun for a guy that was never... Listen, man, I don't know what Kawhi... I don't know to the extent of what Kawhi's injury... Listen, man, God bless that man and good...
Hey, God bless Kawhi. For real. I don't hate Kawhi at all.
Kawhi is not the bad person here, you know what I'm saying? Because if they're giving the money away, you got to take it. It ain't on me that they're doing this. That's on them that they're doing this. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I have, I'm not judging him because I would have did the same thing if you telling me you
the moral responsibilities on the Clippers. Correct.
Yeah, but you know what? Let's say the Clippers win a championship in 2021. Let's say they beat the Lakers in the bubble in 2020. Does this happen right here? No.
No one cares. No, to be honest, Jody, no one cares any of this happens. They'll say, good. It was worth it. They got a championship.
It was worth it. But what do you get
now? The main things, bro, sorry, not to cut you off, the main thing that people talk about in the Chicagoland area, right, especially if you are not a huge Trump guy, is did the Cubs sell their soul for a World Series? Because the same year Trump took over office. It's a joke or a dead ass serious, no matter however you want to look at it. But that's the kind of the thing, right? It's sure you can get it. Just make sure it's worth it. And the Clippers have not gotten their other end of the bargain. And guess what? Rent's becoming due either way.
And now you got to pay that ticket. Now you got to walk out there on SportsCenter and talk about how you've been duped. And you've been hoodwinked and bamboozled and run amok and led astray and had and took and smeckledorfed and all of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all remember that episode of SpongeBob?
Yep.
But... So I love, to answer your question, Rick, and wrap this up to close out this great pod, like, I love that this is happening to the Clippers because it's apropos for the bullshit. Because anybody with eyes could see that they were on some type of bullshit.
100%.
Listen, man, we're all in our mid-30s. Niggas are getting close to 40. Ain't never in my life seen a type of propaganda that the fucking Los Angeles Clippers got. Like, nigga, please. I don't care if Kawhi is coming off a fucking... finals MVP with the Spurs. He was also coming off of not playing for an entire year.
Yeah.
With the Spurs. So everything that has happened was precursor. Like it was all right there. You know what I'm saying? And so
that's a good point. Because he was on the ultimate what they call it, not the rest and relaxation. What the hell is it? What's it
like
called?
physically unable to perform or whatever the hell, like exempt or whatever.
Management. That's the word. Load management.
Yeah. I mean, you had teammates calling him out. Tony Parker said his quad injury ain't nothing. He just sitting around.
He said, I had the same quad injury as him.
Yeah, he said
Tony Parker, of all people, bro, like, nigga, you got some nerve talking about anybody. So that should let you know how bad it was with Kawhi. Exactly. Of all people, Tony Parker coming out trying to point the finger and look at somebody funny, nigga, you got some motherfucking nerve. So that should let you know they thought Kawhi was on some real shit. Like, this nigga really is just not playing. He's just saying, no, I'm not gonna play. I don't know that to be true. I'm saying what they're saying. I'm not trying to say Kawhi was faking.
A lot of people are, though, and we're gonna get out of here too. Appreciate y'all rocking with us on this episode of the Late Night Lake Show podcast. We will see y'all. Hey, y'all have a good Turkey Day. You know, I know Thanksgiving ain't really a thing besides the food anymore in football, which is fine with me, but y'all get out there. Enjoy your time with family. If you're doing a turkey bowl, please come back with all your ACLs, MCLs, Achilles, whatever. Just make it back to your family and enjoy the rest of your day. The Lakers are rolling. No matter how you want to cut it, ugly wins, cute wins, not shooting threes well.
I'll take them however they giving it to you. They never ask you how. They only ask you how many.
Yep.
Count the wins. Everybody's chasing the OKC Thunder. Well, maybe we'll get into that next week if anybody will be able to catch them during the regular season. But until then, enjoy the show. Enjoy the Lakers. LeBron's getting healthier. Luka is rated supreme. Life's good. Y'all have a good holiday. We'll see y'all next time. Late Night Lake Show. Peace.
Late Night Lake Show.